Hello, subscribers. This is yours truly, JBlue68, and today is September 14th, Saturday. And this is going to be my weekly comic book haul or weekly comic book review. These are comic books that I picked up for September the 11th, this past Wednesday, and these are all Marvel comic books. So for those who don't like Marvel comic books, I'm sorry. There's nothing else here in this haul. I had a haul that I did previously where I had a combination of different books from DC and Image Comics. I've cut back on my spending on comic books because I spend so much money on comics, and along with collecting other things, it's a necessary move to make. But I will eventually have a huge comic book haul while I have a variety of different books. That's probably after I attend the New York Comic Con. But I do get other books aside from Marvel. They're not always necessarily in the hauls that I do, but I'm a Marvel man. So before we get into this haul, I just want to say thank you to my subscribers. Thank you for watching my channel and commenting. I always respond to any and all comments. And I just want to say again, thank you to you guys. Continue to hit that like button, subscribe, and tap that bell so you can get any videos that I upload into your feed immediately. All right, so let's get into this haul. So first up, we have the infamous Riri Williams Ironheart, a new series story arc that looks like they're starting in this book, The Enemy Within. It looks very interesting because she's holding in her hand a medallion, and the medallion looks like it has the 10 rings of the Mandarin. Very interesting there. This is written by Al Ewing, the same gentleman who's writing the Immortal Hulk. But of course, Riri Williams was created by Brian Michael Bendis, who's now over at DC Comics doing Superman and several other projects. So yes, Riri Williams. Love that cover too, by the way. Very nice. Very nice. I'm glad to see the progress of this character. Very proud of the progress that the character and the book has made. Next up, we have Captain Marvel. And I want to send a message out to my buddy, Michael Elliott. If you're watching this video, man, this is a book and series you might be happy to see because I believe that Captain Marvel is about to go rogue. She's about to turn into a dark character. I know you didn't like the movie. I'm not sure how you feel about the comic books. This is written by Kelly Thompson, by the way. It looks like they're about to do something different with the character. And I think probably what they're doing with the character in the books, they might follow up on in the cinematic universe. So for those who didn't like Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, hopefully you'll like the comic book and the direction that it's taking. I'm very interested in reading that myself. I'm behind on all my reading as always, so can't wait to read this book. There's a new character that's being introduced, and I think her name is Star or something. I'm going to need to go back and get some of the other Captain Marvel books, Captain Marvel books that lead into the introduction of this new character. So, all right, that's Captain Marvel book number 10. Moving on, we have Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and Ultimatum is here, and he brought a friend, plus the origin of Starling by Ahmed and Wu. So they're doing an origin story in this book. Very good. We all love origin stories. They're usually key comics, and usually the comic books that guys are flipping all over the social media. So yeah, Saladin Ahmed, Javier Goran, and David Curiel bringing you this book, Miles Morales, Spider-Man number 10. Love the character. Cool cover too. Next, we have a True Believers, The Incredible Hulk, The Gray Hulk returns at last. Marvel 25th anniversary of The Incredible Hulk. But of course, this is a reprint. Marvel True Believers. These books, of course, are only $1, only $1. And I have two Incredible Hulk True Believers books. I have Hulk, the Mindless Hulk, featuring Doctor Strange on the cover there. Some showdowns about to happen between them. Always love to get these old vintage books, man, and the reprints that Marvel does. I'm glad that they do these. Very nice for those who want to catch up on any old Marvel comic books that they've never had a chance to read before. All right, moving on. Another Hulk book that I mentioned just a moment ago, written by Al Ewing, the very popular, very infamous, The Immortal Hulk. This is book number 3. This is the director's cut. I didn't get an opportunity to actually purchase these books when they were originally being printed because, again, you know, my account has to agree with anything that I purchase after taking care of adult responsibilities. Of course, we know what those are: utility bills, rent, mortgage, car notes, insurance, and all that nice stuff. So here we go. And I finally able to catch up with this series. I'm glad that Marvel's reprinting them. And what better to get is a director's cut of a very popular series. The Immortal Hulk number 3. And hopefully I'll be caught up in a couple of months with this story. All right, moving on. Moon Knight, Acts of Evil, book number 1. And I believe this is a one-shot. Features Kang the Conqueror on the cover there. That is a sweet cover. I do believe, again, this is a one-shot Acts of Evil, but I think the Acts of Evil is another story arc that Marvel will be doing over a series of different comic books. And they have another comic book series that will be starting in October called Contagion, which will also feature Moon Knight. I'm not sure if they're connected or not, but we will see once I get into finally reading this book. Cullen Bunn is a writer. Very, very excited to have this book in my possession. Great writer Cullen Bunn is. Can't wait to read it. Moving on. Guardians of the Galaxy, Prodigal Son. This is a one-shot, but the series itself is, again, another story arc that Marvel has been doing for some time now, written over a series of different comics, which include the Silver Surfer. So I'll be glad to finally read this story. That cover is absolutely beautiful. It is awesome, tantalizing. I love the colors. And the way the characters are drawing, the penciling and everything is just right. Love that. Love that. Very, very nice. Very nice. Always good to see my man Beta Ray Bill, too. Moving on. Silver Surfer Black, issue number 4, written by Donny Cates, Tradd Moore, and Dave Stewart. Again, I still haven't read this series yet, and I'm not sure if this is a limited series. I believe it is. I think it's going up to 6. I don't know. I think it's a limited series. I'm not for sure. But the series seems to be doing well. I don't really know anything about it because I haven't read it yet. I think I will start reading it once I get up to issue number 10, and I can read them back to back with little to no interruption in terms of the series hitting shelves, or the books hitting shelves. Next up, we have a lovely cover here, The Invisible Woman. I love this cover, man. I've been seeing this, I've seen it in the Marvel previews a couple of months back. That is just an awesome cover. As you see all these begging men trying to get the attention of the lovely Miss Sue Storm. That's a nice cover for Valentine's Day. Probably around the time this book should have been released. Not sure what's going on here, though, because I haven't read this series yet either, but I do love that cover. She's wearing a blue dress, and of course my favorite color is blue. That is why I am JBlue68. Very nice there, very glamorous looking Sue Storm. You go, girl, in her own limited series. And then next up we have another lovely young lady here, the lovely Miss Felicia, also known as the Black Cat, with a very cool cover there by J. Scott Campbell. All the covers for Black Cat so far have been just very awesome, very sexy. I like the way it's drawn. And again, another series I haven't had a chance to read yet. And we see the Yancey Street right here, of course, as a representation of the Fantastic Four. And I guess that is Johnny Storm there in the upper corner here to the right. I have no idea who these two gentlemen are, but it looks like they're troublemakers, for her anyway. All right, so Black Cat issue number 4, Felicia Hardy. And last but not least, the X-Men Powers of X. I have read this series. I'm completely up to date on it. I read this book yesterday. I'm a little lost on what's going on. I want to need somebody to please help me. Anyone who has read this book, who's read this series, both House of X, Powers of 10. Please help me along. Some of the stories I'm able to comprehend, but others I simply am not. And this is one I was just a little lost in. I understood what was going on with the character Cypher, who's a member of the New Mutants, and him and Charles Xavier bringing the island of Krakoa to life. But some of the incidents that are going on with some of the other characters and situations, I'm a little lost on. I know there are several YouTube channels discussing this book, but again, if there's anyone watching this channel who has been reading this series and is up to date on the series, please help me along in terms of what's going on with the storyline. Again, I'm understanding some of the storyline, but some of the other parts of the storyline I'm a little lost on. And this has a complete menagerie of characters here. Looks like there's Beast, Wolverine, of course, Nightcrawler, but then I also see what looks like Misty Knight. What would she be doing on this cover? She's not part of the X-Men. There's a Stepford Cuckoos, and what looks like, I don't know who this is back here. It's not Apocalypse, and it's definitely not Mr. Sinister. But this series deals with Mr. Sinister. He's he's in this series with a very, very strong presence, is what I was wanting to say. And it looks like an older version of Magneto, but he's wearing a green helmet instead of red. I do think that what's happening too, I do know is that there are multiple timelines and situations that are occurring with the life of Moira McTaggart. That I do know. And I think they're clones of the X-Men that are also in this series. And they're going back trying to change the timeline to prevent a mutant apocalypse. That's pretty much what I've gathered from the story. It is very interesting to read. Very interesting to read. I think that Jonathan Hickman has done a fabulous job. But, some things are just a little hard to grasp because there's so much going on. Anyway, that's it. That's all, y'all. So I hope you've enjoyed this haul. I hope to have another comic book haul coming up soon. There's a book, though, I do want to do a review on, and it has to deal with Darkhawk. I never did complete my haul that I was doing on Star Wars either, Dark Horse Comics. That was several months ago that I said I was going to do a part 3 and a part 4. But I'll probably do a part 3 and just go ahead and end that. I want to do it before the next Star Wars film comes out anyway. I want to do my wrap-up of Star Wars Tales of the Jedi from the Dark Horse Comics run that came out in the early 90s. So I hope to get around to that eventually, as well as I was supposed to do another music video based off of me doing my rendition of the Princess Leia theme song from the original Star Wars movie that came out in 1977. Never got a chance to do that either, but I've had so much going on, that changes my plans or hinders my plans, and I gotta go around and reinvent and redo everything over again. So I'm getting ready for the New York Comic Con, making plans for that and how I'm going to film that and what I'm going to do when I'm there. There's a bunch of stuff to do. I've never been to New York Comic Con before. I've been to New York before, but I've never been to NYCC. And to my understanding, Paul Rudd is going to be there, who played as Ant-Man, and Tom Hiddleston, who played as Loki. But they want $200 for autographs, so I don't think I'll be meeting them. I might get a glimpse of them, but of course, when you have any type of celebrity there, if you're not paying money to see them, they don't allow you to film them. So, if I get a chance to maybe see them walking through the hallway or something like that, then, who knows? But other than that, the chances of me getting to meet them is highly unlikely. So that's it. That's all, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this video again. I hope you have a lovely weekend, lovely evening, morning, or afternoon, and whatever time and place it is in the world that you are in. Peace, love, and hair grease.